Wow, putting me on the spot. A little bit nervous now. Oh, thank you so much, Eric. Oh, wow. Um, okay, so a lot of you might know that, I've been in the business for 9 years now, and I have personally never ever found a really simple system to track names, keep on top of people. I've gone from having like sheets of paper with people's names on, and then like write them out again and procrastinate and always just keep doing the same thing with the same people. And then I started to become more professional as my journey went on. And I thought, right, it's time to get serious about this business. I'm now going to have an Excel spreadsheet. So then all of my names were in an Excel spreadsheet and then color coordinated and all those things. And then it looked really pretty, but it wasn't focusing on the main thing, which was the relationships, the follow up. And so I had like thousands of names in this Excel spreadsheet. And I was like, I go to do a power hour of Arbonne and I get confused, I get overwhelmed. If you can relate to any of this, please comment in the chat box. And I just felt like I was doing nothing to really move my business forward. And then I started to use this other CRM system for a few years, which worked well for a short amount of time. It looked really pretty. I could move things around. But what I realized was that was focusing on the wrong things. That was focusing on organizing people and focusing on adding people, which is obviously really important. But it was missing the most important thing, which was the relationship, which was the follow up. And then the universe landed Teamzy in my lap. One of my friends who's also in network marketing said, you should try Teamzy. And I was like, that sounds fun. But I was like, oh, another CRM system. Is it really going to do what I really want it to do? And then I did the 2-week trial. And once I got my head around it, I was like, whoa, this is insane. This is like so good, because Eric is so on our vibe with Arbonne of relationships, of like, I've personally felt, I'll be honest, I'm an executive regional vice president, been in the business for 9 years. Okay. I'll get to the end of the month and message people just for product sales. There was an offer on, I would just message people as soon as there was an offer on. Has anyone just done that and just thought, I don't really have time to keep in contact with all these people. I don't know where they are. Most of them floating in my head. They might be on a piece of paper somewhere I can't locate. But I do know, like, there's an offer on. I need to like message everyone, and then it just felt really salesy and really like out of alignment. And I was just like, no, this is not how I want to be. And so the way I was building my business was not in alignment with who I am and my core values, which feel so strong now. So when I found Teamzy, I was like, oh my God, I actually feel so good building relationships, focusing on making people's day. And what happened in the first 4 days that I used it, I had like brought in like 700 QVs worth of sales just from saying hi to people. I was like, oh my God, this really can be easy and simple and sexy and fun. Because one of my affirmations is I have a simple, sexy 7-figure empire. And I was like, there's nothing simple and sexy about what I was doing before. It was clunky, it was overwhelming, it was frustrating. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed with lists, if you forget to follow up with people, if you're like a busy mom and everyone's literally in your head, think about like where's the space to just like be and enjoy life if the names are always floating around in your head? And are you actually a professional multi-million-pound business owner, who has a database of people and can go in and access them? And also, does it feel really simple to you when you show up to work and you're like, right, I've got an hour or I've got 10 minutes to do work? Do you know what to do, or do you have to then spend 10 minutes thinking about who to speak to and when to speak to them? Because Teamzy has this amazing function where you can do a power hour, and it literally, you can set the amount of money you want to earn this year, and it gives you an indication for how many people to reach out to, the relationships and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, there's actually something where I can see that I'm progressing throughout the day and being accountable to. And I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And we've been using it in a small group of people for the past few months. I know some of the VPs and AMs and DMs have been using it, seen amazing results. And I just really wanted to get Eric on this call to really ham it home, because I believe this is going to be one of the fundamental systems for us to all use to make things super simple, super sexy. So you can actually say to people, yeah, I build my business in an hour a day. Yeah, I'm actually focusing on relationships. So that's it from me. Thank you for letting me share, Eric. I don't know if you want me to get any of the girls on who want to share their testimonials now. You tell me what you want next.
I think that was amazing. First of all, I'm sold. Let me send you my credit card. I'm just
Great.
that was
Great.
good. No, I'm just kidding. But you just wrote my next Facebook ad, which is easy, simple, sexy, fun. So thank you.
Simple, sexy, seven-figure empire. Yeah.
Wait. How did I get it out of order? I got it out of order. What is it?
Simple, sexy, seven-figure empire.
Oh yeah, seven figure. I like that. I'll add that in there too. All right, cool. No, I'm just kidding. I won't take that, but I love that. Thank you. That was amazing. I am, first of all, welcome to the Teamzy family. I'm excited that you found us and that that you're getting great results. So that is what it's all about for me too. And what I want to do tonight for all of you guys is I want to kind of give you an introduction to Teamzy. I'll show you how to set it up. I'll show you how to do a power hour. Okay, so you'll understand the workflows. It is, it is, as Kim said, a CRM. If you've never heard of that, that's okay, because this is for people who don't know what that is and don't need to. It's easy enough to use. You don't have to worry about, complicated softwares. It's so easy. If I can use it, anybody can use it, just so you guys know. The funny thing about this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how Teamzy started. And I want to teach you a little bit about the relationship philosophy Teamzy is based on. But just to kind of give you guys an idea, in my corporate career, I hated using the CRM software so much. How many of you guys have to use one at work? That I would write things on a sticky note and ask my assistant to put them in CRM for me. And here I have my own CRM company. So if any of you guys can relate to that, just so you know, it's easy enough for us to use. All right, so let me dive in here really quickly because I want to cover a ton. Definitely be ready, guys, to take some notes because I'm going to drop a lot of information on you quickly. We are recording as well, so you can come back to the recording. But I just want to have a couple slides here I want to share with you guys really quick as we introduce this. Oh, hold on one second here. I need to unplug my second screen. All right, here we go. It's a little Zoom glitch. You can't have two screens. It doesn't work right. Okay, so I want to talk to you about this topic, how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss, which is basically what Kim just told us is happening for her, right? Just to kind of introduce myself, my background. I've been a professional business consultant for 20 years, helping people build businesses based on relationships. I'm not a computer nerd. I don't really know how this stuff works. It's all magical to me. I drew Teamzy in a notebook and showed it to smarter people than me who built it for us. Okay, just so you guys know. I've been helping people build relationships-based businesses, not in the direct sales or network marketing industries, but general business, worked with a ton of real estate professionals, and it's been an amazing journey. I fell into the network marketing industry by accident about 6 years ago, and just a little side hustle. How many of you guys you're in the side hustle phase? Okay, so just a little side hustle. And as I started working on the business, I knew what I needed to do to build my business because I had been teaching it, right? The problem I had was I didn't have a system. So I had I was whiteboarding, writing names on a whiteboard, making lists, trying to do spreadsheets, like Kim said. I knew exactly what I needed. I just couldn't find anyone. Nobody had built it. So that's kind of what happened. Was we built Teamzy because I knew that if I had a tool that could automate the process of telling me who to contact today, that I could crush it, right? Makes sense. So we built Teamzy just to kind of give you guys, here's a shot of the family. For me, it was all about, the reason why I got into the business was because I wanted to spend more time with my family. There, here's a shot of the group. I've got 4 kids, and my wife Lisa is amazing. But the problem was I was always working and I never got to see my family. Constantly working. I love being a business consultant. I still do it on the side. Now I have the luxury of just making it very expensive, so I don't have to do it full time. But I never got to see my family doing that. And so network marketing was it is an incredible opportunity to create your flexibility of time, right? Create your financial security. I also was in a position where every time there was a recession, I felt like my job got eliminated, right? And so then I was back to the drawing board. Has that happened to any of you guys before? So I wanted to have more control over that. And so that's really what motivated me to dive into the business. And like I said, I needed something to help me get organized because I didn't have very much time. I was still working full-time when I started my business. How many of you still work full-time in a job somewhere? Yeah. So you don't have a lot of extra time, right? How do you build an empire when you're already having to work all day for somebody else? Then you come home, maybe you've got family, kids, take care of at home, right? It's busy. So how could I get it done in less than an hour? And really, I knew exactly what to do. I just needed a full-time assistant to organize myself like I had at my job. And I couldn't afford that. So we built Teamzy to do that for us. Pretty cool. Just to kind of give you an idea of what's happened with Teamzy in just under 5 years. We've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is amazing. We are not one of those big companies run by angel investors and right, all of that. We're a private company, bootstrapped up. We started with 20 people that I knew, I sent a link to, and we've just grown organically, just like this amazing team, right? Kim found us. Now we're talking to all of you, right? Which is the best way to grow. And just to kind of give you an idea of results, active users in Teamzy, they're averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. Okay, so people using Teamzy actively, they're averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. Does that sound good? How many of you would like that to be your next 12 months? Yeah, great. So if you're average, that's what you'll hit. All right. How many of you are going to be overachievers after you see this? Here's what I want you guys to know seriously as we get into this. I'm going to show you the app in a second, but it still doesn't need to be more than an hour a day. It's just about being consistent. Does that make sense? It's just about being consistent. Imagine if you went to the gym for an hour a day for a year, what do you think your body would look like? Right? So the same thing's true for your business. The same thing's true for your business. It's about being consistent. All right. So let me talk to you just a little bit about relationship marketing, because this is important. And I'm excited to share these principles with you. Kim said we're aligned on this, which is good, because honestly, my software is not going to work if your heart's not in the right place. Does this make sense? So we want to go through this really quick. I want you guys to understand what this is, because it's becoming kind of a buzzword. And a lot of people use it improperly, in my opinion. Relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Okay, relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Have you come across people who are skeptical about direct sales and network marketing? Well, if you haven't been trying very hard, right? People are skeptical because for so long, our industry has put the sale ahead of the people, put the sale ahead of the relationship. And it burns bridges, right? It hurts relationships, but we flip that on its head. We put the people first. Also, this isn't some abstract feel-good concept. Oh, it's just relationships. It's going to be great. We're going to hold hands and sing at the end. No, this is a proven system that we follow. Okay, it's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. And like I told you guys, I've been teaching this system in just about every business you can imagine for 20 years. It works. The system always works, right? So we follow a proven system. Also, relationship marketing, getting kind of technical now, it's a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. I know it's a mouthful, but you are business owners. And the job of the business owner is to bring the lead generation system to the business. How will you generate interest or inquiry into your business? Does it make sense? And so relationship marketing, as I'm going to show you tonight, it is, in my opinion, the absolute best lead generation system there is. There's plenty of different ones, right? But that's what it is. And you need to understand, as business owners, your business is not selling, marketing Arbonne products. Your business is to generate leads for the business. You're in the lead generation business. Make sense? Because you're the owner of the business. Next principle. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's your duty. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. I learned this, look, I just want you guys to know something, because people are always surprised when I say that I'm kind of introverted and shy naturally. Even my employees, they're like, no way. But I understood this. I worked, when I was an employee working for another company, part of my job was to host mixers for clients. It was like the worst thing you could have asked me to do. But I understood it was my job to do that. Does that make sense? And so as business owners, this is your duty. This is like part of your duty as the business owner, to develop relationships. Okay, so just to look at these two principles, you're in the lead generation business and your duty is to develop relationships. What does that mean? Simply, if you want to be successful in business, you need to be meeting people and building relationships with them. I know, it's so simple, It's so simple. But there's a really important piece to this. It's not just that we build relationships because we want to get a sale or a recruit. The relationships we turn into advocates. This is a very important piece, you guys. We turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. An advocate is somebody who's so excited about the mission you're on that they can't wait to tell other people about it. Now, every one of you are advocates for many different products and companies that you love. You're compelled to tell people about it because you love them. Does this make sense? Now, what's really important about relationship marketing, I just want you guys to get this as we're going through the mechanics of how to use Teamzy. I want you to understand what it's doing for you. The traditional approach in our industry is we call it the go for no approach. Have you guys ever heard that term, the go for no approach? It's this idea that, okay, here's what you're going to do, Eric. Welcome to the team. Now make a list of everybody you know. Here's a script. Ask them if they're interested, right? And you're just going to message every single person you know. And look, don't worry about it. 99 out of 100 are going to say no. But that'll get you closer to your yes, Eric. It's all good. We're going to go for no. In fact, we're going to encourage you. Don't worry. You're getting 98 no's. You can give me a high five. You're almost to one that's going to say yes, right? How many of you guys have been through something like this where you've seen a trainer and it's like, oh my gosh, really? And then what happens when they say no? When they say no, we throw them away. They're a no, right? They're like a dead body over your shoulder. Keep moving. These are your relationships. When you work with relationship marketing, every time we connect with somebody, we improve the relationship. We invest in the relationship. What happens is many of those no's will still be your advocate. Does this make sense? You may have people who, look, I'm not really interested in the Arbonne products, but I love what you're doing. And they'll bring other people to your business because they're excited about what you're doing. Does this make sense? Now, look, here's what I want you guys to know. You need to look at your business. Every interaction is, I'm building advocates. And from those advocates, I'm going to get customers, I'm going to get recruits, but I'm building advocates. I'm here with you tonight in your homes, teaching you tonight. And I know confidently that you're going to be my advocates. That's my mission. Some of you will be my customers, but all of you are going to leave this training going, that was great. Wow, I loved that. I liked what he said. I liked what he gave us tonight, because look, that's what I'm in the advocate building business. Does this make sense? So come along with me. We'll get in the advocate building business together. Next principle. This is a big one. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. I like to say that means if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay. We have to build trust if you want to build relationships. Now, again, a lot of what, and like I told you guys, I wasn't from network marketing. So I was surprised when they started teaching me some of these tactics, these sales tactics that are very dated, right? This is supposed to be the cutting edge industry. And a lot of what we're taught is like, honestly, from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. It's crazy. But a lot of it to me felt disingenuous. It was like we were tricking people, right? Like we would talk to them so that we could trick them into seeing something, and it was disingenuous. You can't do anything disingenuous if you want to build a relationship marketing. How many people are excited to know that you cannot do anything? Like, we won't permit you to do disingenuous things. You feel better? Okay, good. Relationship marketing depends on trust. And let's talk about this though. Trust makes the work fun. Trust makes the work fun. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to sell people. When they trust you, you can get right to helping them, right? Which is why we're here. Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. Is this a universal word, icky salesperson? Do you guys get what I mean by that? Yeah, like how many of you don't want to be seen as the icky salesperson? That's me. That's me too. So when there's trust, you don't have to worry about coming across that way. People get it. You're their trusted advisor. You're somebody they look to for information, for help, for support. And that's what you get to do. Sales is just solving people's problems. Does that make sense? Helping them solve their problems. And finally, you get to go for yes. Instead of going for no, oh my gosh, reject. How many of you like to be rejected, honestly? Because, 3% of people don't mind it. 3% of people don't mind it. And they tend to be the people on stage at national convention. And they're like, do what I did. And you're like, I don't know if I can do what you did. That's because they're kind of different. They're cut differently, right? 3% of people can do this hard pounding. I don't care about rejection. I can keep going. The rest of us need a system we can do. So we're going for yes. You might not say yes to me first, but eventually we'll build that trust and it'll be different. Okay. So how do you build trust? So I want to leave you guys with this before we even jump into the app, that you guys can have some notes on what you can be doing systematically in your business to build trust with people. First of all, you got to be a good person, right? You have to have that basis. You have to be a trustworthy person. But there's 4 things you can do intentionally to build trust. Okay. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay. Let me break these out for you. When I say chemistry, by the way, I don't mean the science or mixing of chemicals, right? I mean, chemistry is creating a connection with someone. It's creating a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is creating a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? Look, this is a very important principle, and I'll just say it as simply as possible. People want to do business with friends. People want to do business with friends. People want to join teams with friends, right? And nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like. I joke, there's only two exceptions to doing business with someone you don't like. When you're in trouble and need an attorney, or you need a brain surgeon, then they can be a jerk and you're okay with it. The rest of the time, we want somebody we like. So this is important. So the first thing we want to do to build trust is just to build rapport, get to know somebody, ask some questions, find out about what you have in common with them. And what we find is that we have things in common with everybody. We have things in common with everybody. I don't know. I imagine it's universal everywhere, but here in the States, the last few years, like the political situation has been very divisive, right? And everybody's focused on where they're different. As business owners, our job is to unify people. What do we have in common? What needs do we have in common? What things are we passionate about in common? Does this make sense? And so your job is to be somebody who brings people together around those things. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Okay, really quick on this. Please notice something. How many of you think that you have good character? You're a good character person. Hopefully everyone raises their hand, right? That's all good. Unless you've seen my trainings, there's a trick to this. There's going to be gotcha here. But I want you to know something about how I define character. Character is not something you actually have. It's something you do. Okay, character is not something you have. It's something you do. Okay. And this is important because we think character is the sum of everything we've done, but character is what we are doing. Okay. And so we need to be every day. This is the number 1 most important part of your brand is your character. And this is a daily decision. It's the actions you take. It's everything from how you present yourself on social media. Is it all about you, or is it about helping the people who follow you? It's how you communicate and follow up with leads and customers. It's how you interact with people out in the world, right? How do you, when people serve you out in the world, how do you take care of them? Are you a good tipper? Do you drive with consideration on the highways? Like, these are things that demonstrate your character, right? I mean, if you get that big white Arbonne Mercedes and you're cutting people off in traffic, what does that say about you, right? Right? So we want to encourage you guys to remember that stuff. Character is important. It's when we demonstrate how much we care for others. And when people, I'll wait a second, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's principles behind this. It's coming up in a second. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So there's 2 pieces to this. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So for me to become your customer, I need to understand that you know all about Arbonne. You know how the products work. You know what problems they solve. You know stories of people like me, because I know you can't make claims about things, but you know stories of people like me who've used the products and it's helped them. Like, why will I trust you? There's plenty of people representing Arbonne. Why would I trust you to be my person? I need to know you're competent. Does this make sense? So for the new people on the call, if I've got any new folks, your job is to become competent. Learn, be a sponge. Learn about the products, use the products, get as many of them as you can, try them out, get your own stories, get stories from the team, build that competence. Now, when you're brand new, it's easy to pretend like you know it all, but don't ever pretend to be something you're not. Remember, it's all about trust. So you've heard that term, fake it till you make it. That does not apply to this. Don't fake anything. But the good news is when you don't have confidence, you can lean into your team and your upline. You let people know, hey, I'm new, but I'm learning, but you know, Kim, my upline's amazing. She knows everything. So if there's a question I can't answer, we'll get her on a 3-way chat. We'll get the answer, the question answered. Does this make sense? So people know you're part of a winning team, that you can leverage that confidence. The next piece, and use this the same way, is I love Arbonne now, and now I want to join your team, but why should I join your team? Do I believe you can mentor me to be successful in this business? Maybe you're my cousin and I've seen you, you know, with your pants on backwards too many times. And I don't believe it yet that you're some amazing business guru. You know, you haven't shown me that confidence yet. So how will I trust you to join your team? And again, you lean into the confidence, your upline. You let people know that you're part of a winning team. You let people know who your mentors are and who will be their mentors. And so you can be confident, even on day one, you can be confident that you can bring people into the business because they have this incredible support. Does this make sense? I mean, your team is so amazing. They even bring the Teamzy guy in for live trainings, right? I mean, come on. Oh, you guys can, it's okay. I know you're laughing on the inside. It's all good. So confidence is huge, but again, don't fake it. Make sure you lean into your team, but your goal is to build it, build that confidence, build that confidence. Okay. So real quick on these, the first 3 C's to building trust: chemistry, character, and confidence. We need to be intentional about building these into our business and our interactions. There's a principle that underlies these. I want to teach it to you really quickly. I know I'm moving fast. I apologize, but there's so much I want to share with you. So I'm trying to squeeze it all in. But there's a principle behind these 3, and that's this. When somebody's going to do business with you, this is all they care about. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, here's the thing I want you guys to know. If the answer is yes, I can trust you. Yes, I know you care about me. Yes, you're amazing at what you do. I'm your advocate. I'm your advocate. You're my person. I'm going to be telling people about you. I'm going to be shouting your name from the rooftops. That's the way it works. That's an advocate. If I'm not sure about any of these, then I'm going to raise objections. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. How many of you have had objections? Yeah, that's totally natural. It's natural. It just means your relationship, you haven't built full trust with that person yet. So they'll raise objections. So you need to overcome objections. That's important. That's part of building trust with those people, is being able to answer their questions and overcome objections. But I will tell you this, is that when people know these 3 things are yes, you don't get questions like, well, what's this 6th ingredient in the shake? I don't get that. Why is that in there? Like that doesn't happen with does this make sense? Like those types of objections come from, they're just not sure. So objections are a way for people to feel better about something they're not sure about. So that's why we got to be good at overcoming those. But here's the other piece. If they feel any one of these is a no, they absolutely will never do business with you. Okay. And they're very likely to try to prevent other people from doing business with you too. If you don't get that intuitively, just go to Yelp or Amazon and read a 1-star review on any product, right? That 1-star review came from one of these 3 things, and now they're trying to save other people from it, right? So this is the way we are wired. So I want you guys to understand the process of building trust is to help people feel good about these 3 questions, that they can trust you, that you care about them, and that you're really good at what you do. And once they have those down, they're ready to rock and roll. Does it make sense? Okay. By the way, never trust somebody who says, just trust me. You can trust me. You got to earn that, right? You got to earn it. Okay. Number 4 is consistency. This is the part where everyone's like, dang it, Eric. Yeah, you got to do some work. You got to actually put the work in. We have to be consistent. Consistency is key. Nobody trusts you unless you're consistent. Make sense? What's interesting about consistency, the opposite of consistent is unpredictable. Right? The opposite of consistent is unpredictable. Have you guys ever thought about that? So think about, like, would you buy an iPhone if it was unpredictable? Right? We wouldn't. We want things that are consistent. This is so important. And again, going back to my joke about, your cousin who maybe saw you with your pants on backwards, that changes over time when they see you being consistent. Being consistent is huge. And everything that we want to be successful in life, we have to apply it consistently, right? We've got to do things like being a product of your product. How many of you are a product of your product? You use your products as part of your lifestyle. Hopefully everybody. If you didn't raise your hand, I mean, you may not have raised your hand because you just didn't want to, but anybody who's not a product of the product, you have to look deep into that. It's not going to work for you. Right? It's not going to work for you because people don't want to do what you're not willing to do. But we got to be consistent with that. We got to be consistent with sharing our journey and our story on social media. How many of you are doing that? You're consistent on social media. Good. It's important. These are important things, right? I love this about consistency is that people respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. Okay, what does this mean? It means that not only does consistency build trust, but it actually draws people to you. It draws people to you. They want to be part of what you're doing. How many of you guys love this team for that reason? Right? And so it's like you're part of a new group, a group of people who are striving to be better, to do things differently than everybody else, to be healthy, to be consistent, to be doing personal growth and development. Like it's a new thing that's exciting. You want to be around it. It draws you to it. So I want you guys to know that being consistent will not only build your personal success, but it will build trust with the people that you're prospecting to, and it's going to draw people to your team. It's like a trifecta, we would say, right? Three ways we win with that. But I want to talk to you guys about what's the most important place to be consistent, and that's with your relationships. That's with your relationships. How many of you would say you're consistent about staying in touch with all the people you know? And it's okay if you don't raise your hands. It just means you're not in the Teamzy club yet, right? I know some of you are like, I am now because I've been using Teamzy for a couple of weeks. Like, whoop, welcome to the family. The thing is that nobody, even the best people who are naturally good at relationships, they're not good about being consistently in touch because it's just not in our makeup. We need something like Teamzy, which I'm going to show you to kind of like force us into that consistency. But it is the key to building this business. It is the key to building this business. And when you start in the business, sometimes it's really easy to throw up a couple posts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and get some initial people interested. And you're like, wow, this is great. But as time goes on, it's more important to connect personally with people than even to rely on social posts and things like that. So we're going to talk about this really quick. But you guys need to understand relationship building is the key to the business, and it's a contact sport. If you want to build relationships, you have to be in regular contact with people. Nothing else works the same. You got to be in regular contact with people. And I understand your time is scarce, which is why we built Teamzy, right? So that you could get it done in less than an hour a day. Quick principle on this, and then we'll jump into Teamzy, but this is the principle. And if you haven't been taking notes up till now, get this down. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, really quick on this. See your faces. Do you guys all have your cameras on still? This is great. Oh yeah, you do mostly. Great. If you're dressed, turn your cameras on for a second, just so I can see your faces. Just a real quick example. I have to give that little disclaimer because, the world of Zoom is insane these days. All right. So how many of you have ever received like an amazing card or letter that had a handwritten message from someone you love? And when you read that message, it could be somebody you see every single day, but when you read that message, man, it just hit you right in the heart. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel so touched by that. Hopefully everybody, right? If not, you're going to put your address in the chat so we can send you one tonight. Okay, next question. So you've got one in mind. Do you still have it? Did you save it? How many of you kept it? Everyone did. Look at this. See this? Everyone did. And and let's be honest, how many of you have a stash, like a big pile of these somewhere? A drawer, a box full of them? Yes. We nailed everybody. Everybody did it. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible how much we value that? Right? Your spouse or your significant other, they could tell you they love you every day, but they write it down. We keep it. Isn't that interesting? Now, another example. If you ever received one of these are postcards that to wish me a happy birthday from my insurance salesperson. You guys ever get these from a business, right? I see a couple of you laughing because you get these. The dentist, maybe. Happy birthday. Now, the question is, how many of these have you kept in the special place? 0. These went right in the trash, didn't they? Or should I say in the bin? I'm trying not to be overly American for you guys, right? Okay, you did not keep these. Why? What's the difference? Isn't this a birthday card, right? this is trash. So let's go back to our principle. The only way to deepen a relationship is to invest time and connect with someone. This required no investment of time, right? We know he didn't invest any time in this, so it doesn't have any value. I mean, spending money to have somebody else send me a card is not an investment in his time. The other piece is this is not personal, right? This is a bulk mail. Now, here's the funny part about this. This doesn't even have my name on it. It's addressed to Johnson, right? Now, the only thing that I can think of is that he probably doesn't know which birthday is mine and which birthday is my wife. So he just kind of sends them twice a year to Johnson, right? And it says, happy birthday to you. Not personal, no time invested. We don't keep them. We don't treasure them. Do you guys see how important this is? And it's important for you guys to get that because in our world, everyone's trying to sell automated marketing. Okay. Automated marketing is what I just tossed over my shoulder. Now, if you're in a business where you can market to 3 million people to get a 1% result, great. How many of you guys are in that business? Our business is personal. It's person to person. It's about trust. That's why it's called network marketing, right? It's about building trust and relationships with people. And so what we need to do is figure out how to help you invest time and connect with people in a meaningful way without it actually taking that much time. Does this make sense? And going back to that amazing introduction that Kim gave at the beginning of our time tonight, of going through your handwritten lists or your Excel sheets, who the heck should I reach out to today? Trying to think and figure out who to connect with. And then what do I say? How do I invest time to that person? You spend all your time trying to figure out what to do next. Right? So we need a way to get you right into the action of impacting people. I actually call it making people's day. And so we're going to talk a little bit about making people's day in a second. But honestly, the power hour to me is making people's day. So for an hour a day, you make people's day intentionally and then watch your business grow. How cool is that? Right? All right. So let's go back in here. I think I have one more slide and then we're going to jump right into Teamzy. I know that was a little intro, but I wanted you guys to get some of these concepts because they're huge, right? So again, investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Here's the thing, philosophically, you're still here. You guys are smiling at me. I know it's bedtime. You're still smiling, which is great. Great. Philosophically, it's great, but you got to have a system. The system helps you do it consistently. The system helps you duplicate it with people on your team, right? You need a way to stay in contact with all your relationships, know when you're going to contact people, know what you're going to say. Otherwise you end up staring. How many of you guys end up staring at the screen going, what should I message this person? You overthink it. Know what to say so you keep moving and make sure that people don't fall through the cracks. Okay, let's get out of here and go into Teamzy. Let's see here. Do I have Teamzy open? Yes. All right. So first of all, I want you guys to know as I pull Teamzy up here, that we have a custom version for Arbonne. So when you go to teamzy.com to start a free trial, we'll talk about it in a little bit. You can get a free trial for 2 weeks. You go in there and make sure that it'll ask you your business and you'll find Arbonne and you select that version. Okay, so it's like custom tailored for you guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first log into Teamzy. It's kind of the welcome screen. There's a video from me here, which we'll skip because you have me live. But this is set up. Remember how I said I'm not a techie person? How many of you aren't super techie? Like this is the extent of my tech, my iPhone. And honestly, I started making apps when iPhones came out because I was like, oh my gosh, software that I touch with my finger. I think I can figure this out. So this is made to be really easy to set up. There's a little video and there's big next buttons. So you know you're progressing right through setup. So we'll just go through this really fast. I want to show you this piece, which is what you'll do when you're setting up Teamzy. You'll set an income goal. Okay, you'll set an income goal. This is your annual income that your goal is to, maybe be in next year. Okay, so 12 months into the future, what's your goal? Now, you can see my goal set at $150,000. You can slide this around up or down, depending on what you want your goal to be. So when I started my business, that was my salary. I was paid $150,000 a year. I wanted to replace that so I could be home with my family. So that was my goal. Now, here's the cool thing. Even at that level, it's very, very maintainable. 9 prospects. So it tells me how many people to reach out to. 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 consultants. So less than 20 people a day, I'm going to message. Okay. So that's like, when you get going in Teamzy, that's like 15 minutes work, right? 30 minutes work if you're new, but it's not an overwhelming number. Okay. So now that I've set my goal, now if I change my goal, it changes my targets. Do you guys see that? So whatever your goal is, it'll tell you what to do and it'll tell you you'll be done. Okay. So when I click continue, now what's happening is in the background, Teamzy is now configuring this account to my goals. So everything will be based on that goal, which is really cool. The next step is I want to get all my contacts into Teamzy. So I'd want to load my back office contacts, my team first, then my customers. Then you can upload social media followers, like your Facebook friends, Instagram followers. You can get those in there so that you have a bunch of contacts to get started, which is pretty cool, right? For me, that was the most exciting thing because I was big on Facebook. What was it, 6 years ago when I was doing this? And to be able to put my Facebook friends in there and start prioritizing them, it was like, oh my gosh, so amazing. If I have time, I'll tell you guys the story of the first day I had Teamzy. The very first power hour I did in Teamzy, well, I'm going to tell you a little piece of it, but I don't have time to get deep into it. The very first power hour I did in Teamzy resulted in a handwritten personal card from the CEO of my company, because it was the slowest month of the year for the company, and I crushed that month because of this. The first Teamzy power hour I did. It was pretty cool. All right, so we're going to launch into my dashboard. So you can see here, here's my dashboard. This is the Arbonne version. Of course, there is a mobile version. So if you're on your phone primarily, you can use Teamzy there, which is really cool. It's not an app, but it is an incredibly intuitive and adaptive mobile website. So you just log on through Safari or Chrome on your phone to your Teamzy account. You can go mobile all day long. Okay. So just real quick, I'm going to give you just a real quick overview of this dashboard, and then I'm going to dive right into how to do a power hour. There's so many things I can show you, but I think if I just give you that today, it'll be awesome. So just looking at this, first thing I want to show you is where it says today's activities right here. So these are the goals for today. Now, Teamzy is based on the concept of winning the day. Okay. Because here's what I want you guys to understand. How many of you want to build a business that's big? All right, Suzanne really does. Her hand went up fast. Yes, I like that. If you want a business that's big, you've got to have a focus that's small. If you want to have a business that's big, you got to have a focus that's small. And it's about today. It's about today, because we don't have tomorrow, right? We only have today. So my goals for today. So my goal was to make $150,000 a year. Great. Now forget about that. Here's what you need to do today, Eric. Connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 consultants. Now you can see they're all zeros. I haven't done anything yet. And when I say connect with them, what I mean is to make their day. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys that. I want you to stay in the make someone's day mindset. I just want to make their day. My goal is not to sell them, recruit them, or do anything cheesy. It's just to make their day, right? Because by making people's day, we start conversations. Make sense? We start conversations. We don't want a conversation to immediately result in rejection. We want to have a conversation. So that's the important first step. Now, the next piece here is shares. You see where it says shares? And so I'm going to make this easy because people are always like, what about this, Eric? Is this a share? Is this a share? Is this a share? I have 2 things I call a share. When you share a product solution with somebody, they have a problem and you share a product solution, that's a share. If you share the business opportunity, that's a share. Those are the only 2 things I count. Everything else is building up to the share. Does it make sense? So sending them a video or sending them more information or having that initial conversation, like that's building up to that moment. But we need to track those. That's an important piece of the process of we start. And I'm going to take you guys through this process, but we need to track when we've done a share, and I'll show you why, because that means we now have to do follow-ups with that person. So we'll go through that in a second. The last goal here is ads. That's me adding people to Teamzy. Right? So we want to be adding people to Teamzy every day. Even if you already have a large amount of contacts, we still want to get in the habit of adding new people. This is so important. How many of you guys have tons of social media contacts? You're already overwhelmed with the thought of it. Okay, that's okay. You still need to be meeting new people. Okay. And the primary way when you get into relationship marketing that you'll be meeting new people is people will be introducing you to friends and family like crazy. Okay. You'll be getting introduced, but new people is fresh water. I want you to think of your business as a gorgeous lake. How many of you know of a gorgeous lake teeming with life? Anybody? Yeah. Yes. Okay, good. So your business is like this. If there's no fresh water, it's like, I already have plenty of fish in my lake. If there's no fresh water coming in, everything dies. It's the energy, it's the excitement, it's the new relational. Does this make sense? So it's part of our day is meeting new people and putting them in Teamzy. So those are our goals, today's activities. And what we're going to do is as we do our power hour, those circles will start to fill in. It's going to give us a visual cue that we're making progress. And this is the best part. I love this part about Teamzy. It also tells us when we're done for the day. Right? So you can just stop, be like, oh, I did my power hour. Let me go on to my life now. Does this make sense? Okay. All right, so you guys got that. Now, I'm going to scroll down a little bit and you'll see now this module here, which is Power Hour. The Power Hour module helps you get your work done without thinking, without planning, without overthinking. Some of you are still overthinking, but hopefully we can get you out of the overthinking habit. What it does is it gives us 4 lists: prospects, customers, consultants on our team, and our follow-ups list. Okay, great. So, oh wait, let me just clear one thing real quick. Because I want Jay. I actually don't want her on the follow-ups list. I want her on the dashboard. She's part of my demo. Okay. So we've got prospects, customers, consultants, and follow-ups, 4 lists. These lists only give me 5 names at a time, even though you might have 5,000 people in Teamzy, only 5 at a time. Why? 2 reasons. 1, so you're not overwhelmed. How many of you would be overwhelmed if I gave you a list of 4,000 people to reach out to? Yeah, so there's 5 people. And the second reason is I don't want you just skipping people and going back to the same 20 people every day that are your favorites, right? We want you to reach out to everybody. So as they come up, you'll reach out to them. So those are the 2 reasons why there's only 5 at a time. Now, keep in mind that Teamzy has all your contacts. If I go to the team page, all your contacts are there. All their information is there. It's like a Rolodex. It keeps all that data. It has a record of all your conversations that you've logged, right? But the dashboard keeps you focused on what you need to be doing, which is reaching out, connecting with people. Now, the right-hand side is where you log what you sent. So if you're sending them a message, you want to log it here and track it. So it's tracked in Teamzy. Now, what happens here is kind of cool. When you're reaching out and staying in touch with people on these first 3 lists, prospects, customers, and consultants groups, you don't have to remember to set a follow-up. They automatically come back. So each one of these people has like a clock for how often they come up on this list. It's automatic, you guys. This is so cool because you never have to think about this or plan it. What you'll do is when you set up Teamzy is you'll give people a star rank, just like you would give a pizza. That was a 5-star pizza. I loved it, right? I'm only giving it 4.5 stars because, you know, the cheese was a little chewy, right? So, but we're going to rank, you guys know how this works. So we're going to rank everybody on a 5-star scale. It's not based on who they are as a person. It's based on the quality of the relationship you have with them, the level of trust you have with them. Does this make sense? And so once you've kind of done that, and don't be overwhelmed by that because 90% of your list will be 3 stars, which I'll explain in a second. And they come in automatically as 3 stars. So really about 10% of your list, you're going to rank. But let me just explain what this means. A 5-star person is going to come up on your list every 30 days. Okay. So if you don't have a good relationship with somebody and you message them every 30 days, it's going to seem weird. Does this make sense? And you guys will figure this out yourself because you're like, oh, Kim's a 5-star. She's a hot prospect. And then you message her. And then she comes up again, you message her again. Then she comes up the 3rd time. You're like, oh, that feels too soon to message her again, right? So you'll understand maybe she's a 4. 4-star people come up every 60 days automatically. They just cycle through every 60 days. If you forget or you lose that conversation because you got busy and you didn't respond to the last message, it goes 60 days max before it's like, boom, oh my gosh, I realized I let our last conversation drop. You pick it back up. Nobody can fall through the cracks. Does this make sense? 3-star people show up every 90 days, which is actually a really good amount. It's just to stay in touch with people every 90 days. And then 2 stars every 120 days. Does this make sense? So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to have a follow-ups list that's overloaded, just staying in touch with people. If I reach out to Kim and she doesn't respond, I don't have to like fret over it. Oh my gosh, she didn't respond. Maybe I should message her again. I'll follow up on Friday and ask her if she got my message. No, she's going to come back and she'll come back in 30 days. I'll message her again then, or I'll pick it up then. I'm going to keep going down my list. Does this make sense? So no stress, no worry, no overthinking, no having to plan. You log into Teams and you start doing your power. Now, I'm just going to kind of go through real quick. You come through, you get your list. Okay, Emerson, I don't like him. I'm going to skip him. He's not a real person. So everybody in this list is fake except for Kim and Jay. They're my real people. So I'm going to demo this just so you guys know. See, that's Kim. That's how I get around not sharing anyone's data. I don't have anyone's data in my demo account. So I'm doing my power hour. Kim's first on my list. I'm going to send her a message. Remember, my goal is just to make her day. I just want to make her day. Hopefully she'll respond, and then we can have a conversation. So how do I do it? What do I say? Oh my gosh, how do you do this? Anybody stuck with that? So when I first launched Teamzy, because I've been doing this so long, it was easy for me. But people were using Teamzy were like, what do we say? How do we do this? So I ended up putting my scripts in Teamzy. So my 100 best scripts are in Teamzy for you guys to use. So if you're not sure how to do this, go to scripts right here. Do you guys see that button? And just get a quick script. I'm going to message her on Messenger. So I'm going to click open that up and then just pull up a connect script. So here's one that says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Okay, super simple. Now I'm going to copy that script. You know how I did it? I clicked the button that said copy script. It's pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste this in here, and then I'm just going to change her name. Now you don't have to go paste it in Teamzy right away. I could go right to Messenger if you wanted. I like to do all my editing in Teamzy so that I don't make a mistake before I accidentally send it to her. So I'm going to put some emojis in here. I don't know, whatever emojis you like. Is it not putting my emojis in? Why not? Smiley face. I'm getting a new computer this week, just so you guys know. My Mac is tired. There we go. Okay, got one to work. So you get all your emojis in here. You're ready to go. However you want this. Now, what's so funny is you can change these words a little bit if you want. Like I use the word awesome because to me, that's kind of like my mediocre level of energy. And then I go up from there. But I laugh because whenever I do UK teams, they're like, we don't say that. That's too American sounding. So just say great, whatever you want. Like, does this make sense? Okay. So I hope your day is awesome. The point of this connect, the way it's constructed, you guys, just so you guys kind of see how this works. It's a hello. It has her name. So don't do babe or sweetie or girly. Why is that? Because it's not personal. It sounds generic. Does this make sense? Always start a new chat with their first name. Okay. Now, as you're going the back and forth, you can just get, nicknames familiar, whatever, but always start with their name. Just stopping by to say hello. What does that do? It disarms the thought that I'm coming to sell. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Then that evokes the smile. This is a make someone's day message. So once I have this the way I want it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and then go send it however I want to send it. So I've got Facebook open in a separate tab, and I am just going to message her. Here she is. Boom, message sent. Okay, and this is the point where you don't overthink it. Don't stare at it. Don't first read her whole page. Just send the message. Okay. Now I'm going to log this message in Teamzy. This was a Facebook message, and then click on Log Connect. So look what happens. She's gone off my list. The list has moved up one notch. I've got 1 done, 8 left. Next person on my list is Jay. Okay. So I'm going to just paste this same message in for Jay, save me some time, and change the name to Jay. There's no reason to change it any deeper. So look, it's ready to go. I'm going to toggle over to Jay. Do you guys see how you could be really fast doing this? You can even save their Facebook Messenger links in Teamzy. So you just click on it and it takes it and it opens the conversation right up. To me, that's an extra step. I'd never do it, but if you want to, those of you guys who are super organized, that'll be a cool thing to do. So look, I've sent Jay the message. Now I toggle back to Teamzy and I log this one, Facebook message log. So again, you can send a message however you want. Maybe you're using WhatsApp, maybe you're using Instagram, whatever. You can log whatever, right? I'm using Messenger. I like to use Messenger because the response rate's really good on Messenger. How many of you have used the Teamzy scripts, the Connect scripts, and found that the response rate is kind of high? So I would say the response rate on these scripts would be from 90 to 50% response rate. which is massive, right? Now, I told you guys that I would tell you, okay, I'm just going to tell you the story real quick. So when the first day I had Teamzy, I was the only person in the world who had it. I had the first version of it. I was trying to build my network marketing business. I was so excited to have this. I had got my Facebook friends imported. I started, so I had my 5 and 4-star people first, and I just started messaging, and I sent that same message I just showed you, and I started sending it, and it was so easy that before I knew it, I was really on a roll, right? And I sent 43 messages without stopping, which I don't recommend. It was a lot, because guess what my response rate was? It was 100%. So here I am in the afternoon of that day. I have 43 active messenger chats happening with people. And it's like, I mean, my brain was exploding. But here's how that month resulted. 1/3 of those 43 people closed before month's end. So it was massive. It was like, I think it was like 12 new partners on my team and like 8 customers. And it was a big month. It was a big month for me. And like I said, I got a card from the owner of the company and stuff. There was a contest, and it was so funny because I was a nobody in the company. So you guys know there's big stars out there. Like they're they're like the stars of the company. So he's reading the names, and it's like superstar, 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 Eric Johnson. And he kind of stopped and looked at it again. Like, who's Eric Johnson? I was like, that's me. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I knew we had a good proof of concept. The point is on this, though, that I'm getting at this, you guys, is the response rate will be high. So definitely when you're new and you're excited, like just stick to your goal. Like my goal is 9 prospects, like do the 9 prospects, give yourself a high 5, and then do some more tomorrow. Does that make sense? It'll be more manageable for you. Okay. So when I'm done with my prospecting, I'm just going to go down my list, sending messages. This circle will fill in all the way when you hit your goal. Toggle over to the next group, which is customers. Now, real quick on this, some people will respond while you're doing your power hour. I don't recommend jumping into the chat with them right now. Just let them wait till you're done with all your outgoing messages so you don't get sidetracked. Okay? Makes sense? It's going to be hard because you're like, oh my gosh, they're responding. This is working. But just give them the 20 minutes, then come back to it. It's okay. People don't always expect it to be instant. The next list is my customers. Now, one more thing on this is I recommend keeping your canceled, what do you guys call them? Canceled inactives. Like your past customers, keep them in Teamzy. Don't get rid of them. Stay in touch with them. Does this make sense? Unless they canceled like in a blaze of fury, which is probably unlikely. So keep all of them in Teamzy, because I look at it like this. A customer is a customer for life. A customer is a customer for life, even if they've canceled. And it's funny because when Kim was saying in the beginning, like at the month's end, she's trying to hit the numbers. She starts messaging people, right, for the sales. If that's you, just a little tip. If it's month's end and you need a couple more sales to bonus or to qualify, you need to be messaging canceled customers. They are the most likely to come right back. Just right. There's a little tip if you guys didn't know that one. And if you have a system like Teamzy where you've tagged them, you can pull up a tag list and you can just send them and make them say, hey, it's been a long time since we connected. Oh my gosh, how have you been? What have you been up to? And you'll be surprised how many go, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to reach out to you because I need an order. I'm telling you, like clockwork every month. Every month. Okay, there's a little side note. So we're going to stay in touch with our customers the same way. Tessa's the first person on the list. I'm going to send her a message to make her day. We've got customer specific scripts in here. So when you open this up, you're going to see some different scripts. Things like, hi, John, how are you enjoying the products, right? Take out the word the products and put in what he's actually using. Okay. And if you've got that tagged in Teamzy, you'll see it right there as you're messaging them, what they're using, and you can put it in there. Send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. This one's great. If you have no idea what to say to somebody, like this is a great thing to send because it's an easy one. I love this one too for a customer. Hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So you're going to be sending these messages to your customers and past customers to stay in touch with them. Okay. And what happens is, as I'm sending this, I'm just going to log one so you can see. Same thing happens. The circle fills and the list moves up. Now, real quick on this, why this is so important. And I talk to leaders. How many of you, first of all, wish you were better at staying in touch with your customers? Okay, good. That's great. That's normal. I've talked to a lot of leaders who've been in the business a long time. And they're always like, oh my gosh, I don't do anything with my customers. There's too many of them. But here's what I want you guys to understand. Just a couple of business principles. We're so caught up on prospecting. Oh my gosh, I don't have time to message. I had one leader tell me this. I don't have time. I have 900 customers. I don't have time to message them because I'm too busy prospecting on Instagram. So the people on Instagram who don't know you or trust you, who do you think is more valuable? Somebody who's already given you their money for something, or somebody who doesn't know you from Adam? Right? Now, there's Grant Cardone has this saying, which he says, first money's hard, second money's easy. Have you guys ever heard that term? Which is, once we have purchased something from somebody, it's easy for us to purchase something from them again because we got through all the psychological hurdles of doing that first time. Does that make sense? So let me just give you guys a couple of things. When you're in consistent contact with customers, they consistently order more product and they retain longer. Okay, just in regular contact. Now, no special sales scripts or anything, but just by being regularly in contact, they order more product and they retain longer. So what will happen, and this will probably happen for this team. How many of you guys are already in for the 2-week trial? Even I don't have to keep going. Okay, I'm going to keep going though, but yeah. So what's going to happen for this team? You guys are going to start messaging customers. Volume's going to spike. You're welcome, Kim. All of you guys, all the leaders on the team, you guys are welcome. The volume's going to spike, not because we're brilliant, because we're human beings who care for other human beings. And by being in touch, they'll order more product and they'll retain longer. Okay. Especially if you're doing everything on social and you're sharing on social and they're following that, it's like they're interacting with you. You just don't know it. And you won't know it because they're very unlikely to comment or message you. But when you message them, then you make that connection. Does this make sense? The second principle is this. How many of you can think of one customer that you just, oh my gosh, I just love this customer. I want more people like this. Can I get clones, please, of you? And, I just need 100 of you and I'll be good. Some of you guys are smiling. You've thought of somebody. The good news is that's all you need. If you've got one of those, then you're good to go, because the best place to find great new customers is from your current ones. Okay. Because think about it. If you've got somebody that's using Arbonne products and loving it, getting results, what are they doing? They're telling people about it. It's what people do. So you may not even know this is happening, but I'm telling you it's happening. Those people are already talking to friends and family about it. Do you know how many people base purchasing decisions on the recommendations of friends or family? 90%. Is it slick videos and collateral from corporate? No, it's the recommendation of friends and family that matter. So here's the question I have for you. How many of you are regularly being introduced to others by your customers? Now, I would say, in my business, it was 1 per day, a personal introduction happening. Now, why was that? 1, because I trained my customers to introduce me to people, which I'll quickly kind of teach you a little bit about tonight, but mostly because I'm in touch with them. How many of you guys have ever been a waiter, waitress, or bartender? Okay, good. Yeah, see, this is good. You guys already have advanced sales training. That's advanced sales training. I always say, some countries, they require a year of military service. Every country should require a year of hospitality service. Don't you think that would make for a better populace? I do. But anyways, here's the point. If you're taking care of somebody and they're having a meal or having drinks with friends, and you're present, like you come, we call it table touching in the business here. You're touching the table. How you guys doing? You having a good time? Anyone need a drink? How are you guys, we doing okay? You guys having fun? What happens is every time you come by, they buy stuff, don't they? Right? So this is what it's like being in regular contact with people. They're getting a better experience. They're having a great time, right? So with customers, then it's like, hey, Kim, I just wanted to reach out and say hi and see how you're doing. She's like, oh my gosh, great to hear from you, Eric. Yeah. Also, like, I'm really proud of you. You're doing amazing. The results you're getting are incredible. I'm really proud of you sticking to the program. I can tell that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You're getting great results. I'm sure people are noticing, right? And telling you, yeah. She's like, yeah, it's been cool. And I'm sure you're probably telling people about Arbonne, and you've probably got friends who are kind of interested based on the results you're getting. So I just wanted to reach out and, before I get too busy this month, see if there's anybody that you care about who might need more information about Arbonne. Can you think of anybody? And she would say, well, yeah, I got a couple friends I was talking to yesterday who might be a little bit interested. Perfect. Would you mind introducing them to me? Whatever's easiest, group chat on text or messenger. Set up a group, just a group invite, and I'll get them more info. Does this make sense? Because you're hoping those people tell them about you. Whereas if you're just asking them to introduce you because you have got a great relationship and you're in touch, they will. Does this make sense? For years, waiting tables, I did the same thing. I was a waiter for years. Like I worked my way through college waiting tables, and we work for tips in the US, right? We don't get paid. You don't get paid to be a waiter. You work for tips. And I worked in a restaurant where my tables were always full with people waiting, even if the restaurant wasn't full. People were like, what are you doing? Well, when I was taking care of people, I would tell them, you guys having a great time? Yeah, we're having the best time. Perfect. Hey, if you have friends or family who have a special occasion or just want to have a great time, will you make sure they come here and ask for me? Yeah, we'll do that. All night long, people were asking for me. Why? Who's that? They asked for you. No idea. Does this make sense? This is a principle. It's not just for network marketing or Arbonne. This is a principle. When people have a great experience, they want their friends and family to have that great experience too. But sometimes you just got to help them there. Does this make sense? So you just got to help them there. Okay, so, all right. I don't want to keep going because I know I have a lot to cover. I'm running out of time. Oh, maybe I already ran out of time. Do you want me to keep going? Yeah. You guys sleepy? Okay. We're recording. Okay. So we're going to connect with our customers. Then we're going to connect. When we're done with that list, we're going to then go to our team and we're going to reach out to our team. Now, some of you might have 3 people on your team and you're like, wow, that's pretty anticlimactic. I already reached out to all 3 people this month. I'm done. But that won't always be the case as you grow your team. Oh, one last thing I want to say about those customers. When Kim introduces me to her 2 friends and they're both interested now, what do I have besides 2 new customers? I have a new consultant, because chances are good when I go back to Kim and say, you should join my team. Your friends are already interested. Does this make sense? So staying in touch with customers becomes a huge recruiting tool too. Huge recruiting tool. And you guys know the consultants who already love the products are the best ones. Okay. So now we're going to talk to our consultants the same way. Now here's the piece of the puzzle. Some of you guys are like, this is coming together. I can see how reaching out, starting conversations and creating opportunities can lead me to getting people on my team and getting customers. But the piece that is not taught and is usually ignored, especially by corporate, is the retention piece. The fact that you work hard to get consultants and they quit. True? You guys know that it's 50% a year is the attrition rate in our industry. So that means you recruit 10 consultants, 5 quit. So how do you impact the retention of your team? How do you keep these great people motivated and excited so that you can help them be successful? The number one way is by building relationship with them. Okay, and they've done all kinds of studies on this. You guys could go look up any social science study you want on worker productivity, on what gets people fired up. It's not income. It's not income. There's 2 things that motivate people. Number 1 is relationship. They feel connected to you. They feel connected to the team. They're going to persist. The number 2 thing is recognition and status, which is why we have ranks and we have awards, right? And there's whole teams at Arbonne that do recognition because they understand that. So we're going to stay in touch with them the same way we do our customers and our prospects. We're just going to reach out to our team members and say, oh, I got Jackie up top. Hey, Jackie, just reaching out to see how I can make your day. How's everything going? It's been a while since I've seen you on our team Zooms. What's going on? Just reaching out to team members. Does this make sense? To build that relationship. And as your team grows and you become more of a big shot, these little texts and messages are so meaningful to your team. Does this make sense? So we'll get you in the habit now. This, by the way, is why we named it Teamzy. So the first half of your power hour is reaching out to prospects, customers, and consultants. And so my goal for 150K a year was 19 people. Do you guys see how you could do that in 30 minutes? Yeah, because you're just sending the message. Now, the second piece is your follow-ups list. So the follow-ups list, when I get there, follow-ups aren't automatic. We put people on the follow-ups list when we have a reason to follow up. So reaching out and connecting is different than following up. Following up, this is based on I've now shared with you, right? I've now shared with you. So just to give you the example, when I was connecting with prospects, one of the people I messaged was Kim. She responds, "Oh my gosh, we're having a great conversation. Thank you, Eric, for reaching out. That was so sweet." And so now I'm asking her like, "Well, what have you been up to lately? Send me an update of what's going on in your life. Let's catch up." So she's telling me things that are going on in her life. Now my goal now, and just so you guys know, this is really important for this to work. I don't want you to have a conversation while you're just waiting to drop the shoe. Like, when am I going to drop Arbonne on this person? Right? Okay, great. Yeah, your kids are doing great. Okay, great. When am I going to drop the business on her? You have to kind of like release that expectation for this to work. To really be interested, have a conversation with them and look for ways to help, right? Look for ways to help. Just have a normal conversation. Pretend you're in person. I know you're on social media, but just pretend you're in person. Just like be interested. Oh, your kid, oh, that's so cool that your kids did that, or we're doing this, and just get caught up. Does that make sense? And the goal is to find a way to help. So if they identify a problem, oh, I noticed that you help people with losing weight. I need help with that. I saw that on your Instagram. Do you think you can help me? And it's like, that's a gimme, right? But maybe they're not going to go there in that conversation, but they may say something like, I don't know. We just had some big storms in parts of the US. Like maybe that just happened. And it's like, man, my dang roof's leaking, right? Ruining my floor. Oh, I know a good roofer that I could send over to your place to repair that. Oh, you do? That would be great. It has nothing to do with Arbonne, right? But it is an investment of my network or how I can help you. I can't even tell you how many times I've sent people books based on something they complained about, like a book that could help them on something, right? Like just order, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so thoughtful. So look for ways to help them. But as we're talking about, she's catching me up on what's going on in her life, I'm going to catch her up what's going on in my life. That is so normal and natural. It's called the law of reciprocity, you guys. So just catch them up on your life. It's natural. Oh, well, this is what we've been up to. And part of your life is what? Arbonne. How many of you guys struggle with how do I bring up the business in a conversation? It's part of who you are. So, just to give you guys an update, we just had a huge holiday here, 4th of July in the US. It was awesome. And it was our first time with our puppies. I have 2 puppies from, there are pandemic puppies. How many of you guys got pets during the pandemic? It's really hard to find puppies. Everybody wants puppies. We've got 2 puppies. I've got a full-blooded Rottweiler who's 5 months old. He's already 70 pounds. And then I got a mixed dog that's 35 pounds. It was awesome. So we had such a good time. I've got 4 kids. It was great. And oh, did I tell you about my home-based business? I started a home-based business with a company called Arbonne. Have you ever heard of them? Yeah, it's awesome. They're amazing. And I have to tell you kind of what happened with me was, a friend of mine told me about it, and I was at a point where I was really unhealthy, and the products really helped me. I lost like 60 pounds. I feel like a new person, and I was so excited about it. I found that I wanted to share it with people, and I was sharing it. And then I ended up starting a business because it's been really rewarding for me to help other people kind of go through the same thing that I went through. So it's been really cool, especially through the pandemic, to have extra income. Do you guys see how you can share your business? It's just part of your conversation. Now, what happens is, what I just did was I shared 2 things. I shared what I do and why I'm passionate about it. Okay, so however that story works for you, that's what you want to share, what you do and why you're passionate about it. Okay, now, if I had, since I last saw Kim, gone to veterinary school and become a vet, since I'm talking about puppies, so keep the theme. Oh, did I tell you I went to veterinary school? I'm a vet now. I just love animals. So I thought it was like the perfect thing for me to do. Do you see that it's completely the same thing? It's the same thing. Why are we so afraid to share our business? So share what you do and why you're passionate about it. Here's how they will almost always respond. Ah, cool. That's good for you. Good for you. Ah, I'm really glad for you. That's great. Okay. Now, I'm not in any way expecting her to go, sign me up, send me your link. Here's my credit card. That's not my goal. And I don't want her to feel that way. I just want her to know what I do, why I'm passionate about it. It kind of piques her interest into it. Okay. Now, here's how you drop it without being salesy. When she says, good for you. Oh, I'm so happy that you found something like that. Yeah, it's been amazing. And, if you ever want to learn more about it yourself, just let me know. I'd be happy to send you more info. That's my mic drop. Do you guys see how easy that is? If you'd ever like to learn more about it yourself, just let me know. Okay, so long story short, she says, that does sound really intriguing. I need to get something going for myself. Maybe we could talk a little bit more. So now my goal is now to get her maybe on a Zoom or a FaceTime so we can talk a little bit more about her goals, and I can now have a chance to share this business opportunity with her. Make sense? So let's say we have this Zoom. Now, how do I log this in Teamzy? So what I'm going to do real quick, and then we'll do, I'll be done after this and we'll do Q&A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look her up in my lookup bar at the top. That brings me to her full record in Teamzy because she's not on my dashboard right now. I'm going to log a connect. And as I log this connect, right here on the bottom left where it says share, I'm going to click on that because this isn't just a hello, how you doing? This is a connect. So I mean a share. So I'm going to click on business opportunity. Great. That was a, let's say it was a video chat. I'm going to put all the notes from our Zoom. Okay, great. And so now that I've logged this as a share, it's activated the follow-up list. See the little calendar? It's going to set a follow-up for her 2 days later. Now you can change that to anytime you want. So real quick on this. She's now on my follow-ups list. I've logged that I shared with her, and she's now on my follow-ups list for tomorrow. If I go to the dashboard and you go to my follow-ups list, you guys, you'll see there she is due tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow when I do my power hour, after I've connected with prospects, customers, and consultants, I check my follow-ups list and I see who's due and I send them a message. Now, this is so easy. It's just like sending a connect. You go to scripts, okay, and you get a follow-up script, like they're numbered 1 through 10. So I'll take number 1. It reads like this. Hi, Jane. Just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, quick script. Great. We're going to send this to Kim. Hi, Kim. Just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, great. So there's my follow-up, and I'm going to send it the same way to her in Facebook. There she is. Paste that in, send it. Okay. So I log that in Teamzy. Now check this out, you guys, real quick on this. I log it in Teamzy. Teamzy says, does this connect complete your scheduled follow-up? Leave that checked. Yes, it is, but I want to add another follow-up because I want to follow up again. I can't assume that's going to do it. I need to keep following up. So let's set another one. Let's say for Friday. Okay, great. I can put a note if I want on what it's about. And then when I complete that, it then completes today's follow-up. And now she says a new one on Friday. This is really important, you guys, because once you've shared, you want to keep following up with them. Okay, keep following up with them. Now, just real quick on this, 80%, most people follow up 3 or 4 times. They think they're doing okay. But 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Okay, 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. So if you're not following up 7 to 10 times, you're giving up the vast majority of your opportunity to help people. All right, now just real quick, how many of you guys are concerned following up 7 to 10 times would now make you annoying and people would hate to hear from you at this point? That's okay. I want you guys to understand something. If you're pestering somebody to get something, it is annoying. But if you are reaching out to help somebody else, it's different. Does this make sense? I want you guys to understand this concept. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. So when you come to me and say, you need my help, and I say, I can help you, Arbonne's not going to help them. They don't have it in their hands yet. The only thing that I have to help them is my ability to follow up, to keep my promise that I'm going to help them. Does this make sense? So, but there is a way, there's 2 principles to follow so that you're not annoying when you follow up. I'll just teach them to you really quick. For those of you guys who are hanging in, I know it's late. Principle number 1 is when you follow up, don't ask anything of them. Don't ask them to do anything. Like they don't say respond or message me or reply or, you know, whatever. Don't ask anything of them. Principle number 2 is make sure your message is short enough they can read the whole thing without opening your message. Okay, they need to be able to read the whole thing without opening your message. Most people won't even open your follow-ups. Has this happened? People say, Eric, they're ghosting me. They're not ghosting you. They're just busy. They see it. They mean to respond. They're busy right now. Okay, so don't worry about them opening it. If you keep it short enough, they can see the whole thing. They will always see it. People are obsessed with reading the messages. They'll always see it. It'll keep you top of mind. What will happen is you'll message them, you'll follow up, no response. Maybe 5 or 6 times, no response. You'll be like, that Eric Johnson guy was full of it. It's not happening. And then all of a sudden you'll get one that says, I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you for staying in touch. They will invariably thank you for staying in touch if you do it this way. Follow those 2 principles. Are you guys with me? So Teamzy, super simple. You put everybody in there, you prioritize them, you reach out every day, prospects, customers, consultants, making their day, starting conversations. As you have conversations and uncover interest, you share where appropriate, put those people on the follow-ups list. So the second half of your power hour is working that follow-ups list. And then what you will find, some people might be on your follow-ups list for a year, but what you will find is that every single month, those follow-ups will convert. It's consistent growth. Does this make sense? Okay. I know that I've overstayed my welcome. So let me stop talking. And if you guys have questions, what you can do is just unmute and ask away. I'd be happy to answer any questions as you guys come up. Oh, yeah, real quick. One thing I do want to mention really quick on this before we jump into this, and I know some people are going to probably jump off right now, is again, teamzy.com. You get the Arbonne version. There's a 14-day free trial, so you can use it for free for 2 weeks. We have a special promotion going right now with Arbonne. So it's 1/3 off the normal price. So if you guys are into Teamzy and you're excited to use it, you can lock that price forever and it will never go up on you, which is pretty cool. And so it normally, we're priced in US dollars because we're an American company. So you'll see that price will fluctuate a little bit each month based on the float of the rates. But it's just under $30 a month for Teamzy, $29.99. But right now it's $19.95 for Arbonne. So it's like 60 cents a day to have everything planned for you. So definitely check it out. I just want to say that before we get into Q&A. The other thing I want to just also say is, as you guys are doing this, and I know Kim's probably going to organize something with you, but I highly recommend as you try out Teamzy, get a success partner or 2 or 3 and do it together. Okay. Say, let's try this together. Let's hold each other accountable, share your goals. And then what I like to have my success partners do is you take a screenshot of Teamzy when you're done for the day and message it to your success partners. And I'm done with my power hour. Then what happens is it's irritating because they haven't done theirs, but it spurs them to do more. Does this make sense? Because I really want you guys to take advantage of that free time and get some great results and not just, log in and be like, the colors are pretty. I haven't done anything with it. Okay. All right. So that said, I'm going to be quiet now. And if you have questions, I'm happy to take them. Or if you have ahas you want to share, go for it.
I'll just jump on quickly, Eric, and say, wow, it's so excited. I just feel everyone's just like, the chat is blowing up saying how excited they are and how like simple this is. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and for everyone who stayed on. Thank you. And just another feature that I am obsessed with as well is you can actually connect, you can pull through your team stats so you can see what your team are doing. Yeah. And so when it comes to our weekly accountability meetings, like, it's really simple because number one, I can see what my team are doing, but there's also a feature where you can see what you've done for the week, and you can like easily track your connects and your prospects and things like that. The one thing I will say is that we can't log when we've invited someone, but we can select the option other, and then we can change it to an ask, can't we, Eric? We also track that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We can just do that. And what else was I going to say? Something. Ooh. Oh yeah, so I've created a short video that just shows you how to download your contacts from your Arbonne office, and then how to get it from the Excel spreadsheet and like simplify it. So I thought what would be really good for us to do is if we get into groups of like 10 in WhatsApp groups, and then I don't mind being in each of them just to kind of help iron out any technical issues or things or questions that you've got going on. So we'll speak to the upline VPs and AMs to organize all those. And yeah, just 2 weeks, just, be using Teamzy, and we'll just iron out anything, and it's just going to be amazing. So yeah, thank you so much, Eric. My pleasure. I know there's so much more I could show you guys, but if all you get in the next couple of weeks is power hours going, you're going to get great results, And one little tip that I will give you is, again, I told you that story where I had 43 going and it like blew up my life for a month. What I found really helps is if you schedule a power hour, let's say early in the morning, where you send the messages, block out a couple of little blocks just to respond to messages in your day, so you're not doing it all day long. And so, like, for example, I had a full-time job. I know some of you raised your hands. So I would take half of my lunchtime to respond to messages. And then in the evening after supper, I would respond to messages. So for 30 minutes, I just went through all of my unread messages and responded. And I could do tons, right? Rather than back and forth all day. And that helped me have a life, because I was doing this to have a life, right? Not to give up my life. So there's my little pro tip for you guys.
Again, you got your power hour. So maybe it's 2 hours a day, but little blocks where you can be really focused. And you'll be amazed the momentum you can create in your business in a short amount of time.
Amazing. I think Lisa's got some questions she wants to ask.
Yes.
Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for that. That's brilliant. Thanks, Kim, for organising. I've got one question for me and a couple from my team. Is that okay?
Yeah.
First one, so I build most of my business on LinkedIn. Is that a case of getting all my contacts, putting them into a spreadsheet, importing the spreadsheet?
No, it's much easier than that. And there's step-by-step instructions on how to import all your LinkedIn connections into Teamzy in our help center.
Oh, fine.
It's really easy.
Okay.
Actually, LinkedIn will create an export file and Teamzy recognizes that. We'll bring it right in for you.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. So a couple from my team. One is, how would you recommend recording your chats with people? So when you set a follow-up, you do it, you post the message, you send out to them, and then you've had loads of messages back and forth. Would you just copy and paste that all into the OneNote?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. The best thing is to copy and paste it all into the OneNote. That way it doesn't change your statistics on how many times you're reaching out to them, because it's really it's the result of that one reach out. But one thing that I found was really helpful to me is, because you can get caught up in just logging in Teamzy and not actually moving forward, right? Just if all you're doing is logging back and forth stuff. So what I would do is when I went to reach out again later and I saw, oh, there's the record of our whole last conversation, that's when I pasted the whole thing in. Does that make sense? Because it was in Messenger or it's in WhatsApp or wherever it is you're talking to them. It's just to save me time. The most important, the most important thing to have is that you log that initial reach out or share so that it resets their clock in Teamzy, right?
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing, so that Teamzy knows to remind you again about them. The back and forth stuff is nice to have, but I just want to say that because some of you will get overwhelmed with that and be like, this is overwhelming. We want to make it easy, if that makes sense. So when you were recording follow-ups on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper, you weren't writing down the whole chat then either.
No.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yep. Makes sense. And then final question, are we able to do email campaigns from Teamzy? I select a load of people with a particular tag and send out emails to them.
No,
for
you
example,
can just,
like for a certain event or something. Just
individual emails in Teamzy with the Gmail integration. So you can just send one email at a time. We don't do the bulk emails.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you're doing bulk emails, you'll have to use a different app for that. You can export. You can grab tag groups from Teamzy as CSV to use in a bulk email app outside. Yeah, there's a few reasons for that, but it's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's it for me. That was epic. I can't wait to start using it.
One thing that is really cool that you guys may not have discovered yet in the scripts. First, you can add your own scripts to the scripts library in your account. So you'll have mine, and then you can add your own. But one of the things that I loved is that you can send a script as an email and it will automatically send if you're using Gmail, which probably most people are. So for example, if I'm talking, this is a whole nother training, but I thought it was really cool. So let's say you've got a product suite in Arbonne that you're going to recommend to somebody because they're getting married in 6 weeks and you want to help them trim a few pounds, right? So what I would do is I would have a whole email about that product suite pre-written and saved with the links to order and everything in my scripts. And then as I'm talking to you and you're like, that's what I need. I go, perfect. I'll send you info on it right now. I can literally do it in like 2 clicks. So it's like, yeah, Lisa, that email's coming to you right now. I'm pulling up on my phone right now. Boom. And you just change the name Lisa and hit send as script. And they're like, wow, how'd you do that so fast? It just makes you look like such a pro. Does that make sense? And so what I would do is I would ask you guys, ask your upline leaders, do you already have like great emails, product-oriented emails that you've created that we can have examples of, and then you save those as scripts in your Teamzy? Does that make sense? You don't have to rebuild them, but that's a huge, huge time saver, and it comes out really pro. So anyways, just a little extra thing.
Thank you. Then Daisy's got a question.
Yeah. Hi. Okay, so I think you kind of answered this, but just to clarify for me, so if you're going to message somebody, you come out of Teamzy, right? So you go on to like Facebook separately and do it. you just said you can do email, so that's kind of like integrated. So
Yeah.
if you, yeah, so I'm just trying to, because we used to have like a CRM where I used to work, and everything went through the system. So if you were to email someone, the way you've got that section where you're copy and pasting
Yeah.
from, if it was an email, would there just be an option at the bottom to send it directly from there?
Yeah, there's
Is that how
so
it
there's an
works?
option, send as email or just logging an email. So send as email will send it. The reason why, well, you can't send messages through Messenger through a third-party app unless it's a business page, but we're not using business pages for Messenger. We're using personal pages, right? So you have to you have to copy and paste. But if you're on your phone, you're going to be really quick on this because you'll toggle apps, you know, copy, paste, toggle app, send. There are apps that allow you to send the text, but we don't put them in Teamzy because here's why. They don't look like your normal text. They look spammy.
Okay.
Does this make sense? Yeah. And so this is all Cascon. Yeah, I've used those. So they will send a text on your behalf, but it looks spammy. People get them and they're like, well, that's weird. Or they know you have an iPhone, but it came through green. They're like, what's going on? So what we want to do is we want these to really be personal and feel personal. So some of those things, yeah, you're going to have to copy and paste it. It'll take you 1 second, but then they know it's from you. It's not something you sent to everybody. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And also, sorry, one other little question was, can you delete people once they're in? If you put some, say for example, if you import all your contacts from somewhere, but maybe some of them aren't actual contacts, it's like, I don't know, a taxi firm or something, can you delete them out of the app, or is it once they're in, out of the system?
It's so easy to delete people. There's a little trash can next to everybody's name.
Okay.
And so look,
because I've used one before where you couldn't, and it was a nightmare.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Look, if I want to delete Kathy, click on the trash can, she's gone.
Brilliant.
Now, if you accidentally delete somebody, because you know some of you will do that, and I didn't want to delete that person, then you can come to tools right here, go to deleted contacts, and it would have all the contacts you deleted. You can restore them, which is pretty cool. Because that does definitely happen sometimes. So yeah, definitely.
Sorry, just okay.
Yeah, go. I was just gonna say it's much easier to clean up your contacts in Teamzy than it would be in like trying to organize your Instagram list or something before you import it. It'll be much easier in Teamzy to organize it. On this team page, you can just come through. If you put it on rank mode right here, then it enables the stars for everybody. So you can just quickly come through and rank as you go and delete as you go, and you can clean up your list really easy this way. This is I call this that's an activity you can Netflix and chill and still be working on your business, right? Just ranking your contacts.
That's a good question, actually. How do you import Instagram contacts?
Okay, so let me go back in here. I should keep the share open. So first off, on the left side of the screen, see over here where it says Help Center? I just want to show you the Help Center. So you can find a lot of things yourself on the Help Center. We, of course, have a staff who's able to help, but I know some of you are, it's going to be, we work on US hours. So you're just going to have to get up when it works on the time zone, but we have a staff who can walk you through things too. But a lot of this you can find yourself. So if you come in here, you can find, I'm going to scroll down a little bit to the FAQ. Sorry, guys. I know it's weird. It's annoying when people are scrolling. But you'll see in here, there's one for how do I get LinkedIn? Here it is right here. How do I import my LinkedIn connections? So click on that. And this is your step-by-step on how to do it. It's really pretty easy, but you'll just like open LinkedIn and then just go step 1. Okay, I'm going to LinkedIn, go to my network, click your connections, right? So, and then LinkedIn will give you the file and then you import it.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Has anyone got one more question before?
I just want to show you guys one thing for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, I'm not the kind of person that can figure this out on my own. If you look right here on this top thing that when you come into your Teams, you'll have this, I minimize it, but it's here. These are all these little tips and things. See where it says schedule one-on-one? You can actually set up a one-on-one Zoom with our team, and they'll walk you through. They'll even do your setup for you if you need it. They'll walk you through and explain it, show you anything you want. So you can set up and schedule one of those Zoom calls. So just don't let it be an impediment to you. Like, I don't know how to do this. You don't really need to figure out how to set it up. I don't care if you don't know how to set it up. We'll get you set up so you can use it. Does that make sense? So it's like, how many of you guys drive a car, but you don't know how to fix it, right? It's like that.
Yeah. And as well, just to make sure that everyone's watching the videos, that when you sign up to the trial, there's like incredible videos every day for 5 days that help with everything. So like just making sure that you kind of getting your head around the initial setup, because investing time now will save a lot of time later on.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, Eric, this has been awesome. Unless anyone has another urgent question. Wow, thank you so much for
They're ready for bed.
I love your relationship and how, you know, you just lead exactly how we lead in Arbonne, which is with love and heart. So thank you so much for your time today. I know everyone's going to be getting signed up and starting their 2-week trials. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate the opportunity to come meet with you, and thank you for getting up and getting yourself all ready to go so early in the morning. I appreciate that, and I appreciate everyone hanging in there when you're ready to fall asleep. And I just want to say, welcome to the Teamzy family. God bless you guys, and we are excited to have you join us. And I'm available if you guys have more questions, Kim, that come up. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll be happy to help. But yeah, we're excited to be here. So thank you guys for that opportunity.
Thank you, Eric. And yeah, definitely send me the recording for everyone who had to hop off early too.
Yep, I'll send it to you. You'll have it tomorrow.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's